So coming up next, we'll see the host nation introduced to this tournament for the very first time. Tunisia up against Mauritius. We saw Mauritius a little bit earlier as they suffered a heavy defeat against Zimbabwe. And Tunisia heading into this game as clear favorites. They'll be led out by their inspirational skipper, Sabri Gamir, on that right-hand side. He was absolutely phenomenal for them in the Gold Cup. Almost single-handedly led Tunisia to victory over Zimbabwe here a couple of months ago. A surprise win for them. And then also we saw him in action against Morocco in that final game of the Gold Cup, where he also played a very, very important part. And I'm looking forward to see what he's able to do in the game of sevens.
Yeah, definitely. Please don't remind any of us Zimbabweans of what happened in Tunisia. It was a nightmare, but you can hear the crowd welcoming their team, and they're absolutely excited. I mean, every time they play at home, they really get good support, and it's important for them to start off well, because this is their tournament and they've got a feature without a doubt.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier. Tunisia, a different beast when they have home ground advantage. And it's wonderful to see how many people have made their way to come and support their side.
Yeah, there he is, Demir in picture with his fancy hairstyle. And he's ready to get this game underway.
So for Tunisia, it will be Hossein Kalfi with the kickoff. And the referee just waiting for the go-ahead. And we are underway as Tunisia come up against Mauritius. Kalfi deciding to go with a little bit of a deeper restart, so it's comfortably secured by Ragu for Mauritius. Tunisia very, very quickly up in defense. And the penalty going the way of Mauritius. Change of direction from Quinton Knoll as the ball goes into the hands of Adrian Riverland. Tunisia working hard at the breakdown to try and turn over that ball, but it's still there for Mauritius. The second penalty going their way. High tackle, says the referee.
And I think Mauritius is going to have a hard time here, because they're playing against the eighth man in this game. The crowd is really behind every single tackle and every, you know, positive move that Tunisia does. The crowd is giving them a great cheer. So it's going to be tough for the Mauritians. They had a tough outing against Zimbabwe earlier on. Their biggest challenge is that they just don't have enough ball retention to try and get some phases going and use their width. You can see they're not very structured in terms of how they want to play. They're not very decisive in you know, their wave and the way they want to play the game. So I think that has to improve if they're going to have make any progress against Tunisian team right here.
Ragu with the take at the line out as the ball comes out for Mauritius, and a strong tackle on Montuccio. The referee looked like she might go for another penalty. It's taken out now by Duainville for Mauritius. And Tunisia's defense holding nicely for the moment, and there's Sabri Gamir stealing the ball at the breakdown. Into the hands of Mohsen Issed. Strong handoff from Issed. He bounces off another defender, gets the pass away, and it's into the hands of Hossein Kalfi. And Kalfi pins his ears down, and Kalfi goes over. Tunisia on the scoreboard first in this encounter.
And it's about time. The crowd is really into it here. A well-worked try. They used every single mechanism. You can see the back behind the pass there. You can just see the Mauritians are putting their hands up, trying to complain that there was a bit of obstruction there, but there wasn't any at all. It's good defense as they attempt. That has to be one of the worst kick attempts I've seen in the 7 series this year. But it was a good try to get Tunisia underway here. Much needed, as their crowd is right behind them.
So it's Hossein Kalfi with the restart, and this time plenty of time for his runners to get the ball back, so it's in the hands of Kalfi again. He throws a dummy, gets through a few defenders, eventually has to get the offload away. Still available for this Tunisian side. A nice run coming from Ben Diab, and he gets the pass away to Sabri Gamir. And that's his first try of the tournament. Definitely won't be his last.
Oh, yes. There is a crowd cheering. Gamir had to get on the scoreboard, but this was great work by the whole team. Just offloading right at the right time. The defender went a little bit high there as the Tunisian superstar Gamir scores his first try of the game. We're hoping the second effort is better than the first one, because the first one hardly went 2 or 3 meters. Can he strike it better? Yeah, not much better.
Looks like a Kenny kick.
I don't know which Kenny you're talking about. That could be another Kenny, but Tunisia started well here. And it's important they do well at this tournament, because, you know, them playing at home. And after the tournament they had in the Gold Cup, I think maybe looking at sevens might be the way for them to go forward.
And again, one back by Tunisia. It's Hossein Kalfi back into the hands of Gamir. He's brought to ground this time by Janovic Bucks. Available for Tunisia, but the referee says holding on on the ground. So Mauritius now with the penalty just outside their own 22. And the difficult thing to Mauritius is that they haven't been able to break through this Tunisian defense.
Yeah, and they're playing very laterally, so it's easier for the defenders to get across. And again, it looks like Tunisia stolen the ball. Identified by the ref that the ball player was holding on the ball. Good contesting at the ruck by the Tunisian team as Gamir takes it quickly.
Gamir trying to do it all by himself at the moment. He gets the pass away to Hamani. And now Sabri Gamir in the scrum off position gets the pass away to Kalfi, now into the hands of Kelly, and he loses the ball forward. But Tunisia, one of the surprising teams for me in the Gold Cup this year, especially that fact that they were able to beat Zimbabwe. And having a chat to their 15s coach Yaku Stoneman, who's helping out with the 7s team as well, said they struggle to get all their teams available for the away matches. But I think if Tunisia can get their players who are based in France for the entire duration of the tournament, they really might become a powerhouse in Africa.
Yeah, I think those who remember back in the days, you know, in the 90s, the Tunisian team was really strong, and they competed, you know, for World Cup qualifications all the time because of that French influence and, you know, them getting a lot of intellectual property from France and bringing it across because it's so close. So I think it's been difficult because a lot of the players are attached to clubs now, and there's a big club and country fight all the time, and I think it affects Tunisian rugby in terms of qualification.
Mauritius really without too many options, so they decide to kick the ball downfield. Chasing back for it is Amami, but it's there for the Mauritian team. They're still on the attack, and into the hands of Montecchio, and he will go over. And the referee, I think, will just have a quick word with the assistant, because there was a big hit on one of the Mauritius players.
Although I think that shouldn't affect the try that Mauritius has scored, because I think they just played off the knock-on, but it was a very abrasive tackle. I don't think there was a lot of arms as the try was agreed.
So the try will stand, and there was the big collision, and definitely no arms used there.
Just reminds me of WWE Roman Reigns pile driving a spear into the player. Can Mauritius add the 2 just to close up the score? Not in that manner. The kicking has left lots to be desired too, but it's been a good first half so far, with the Tunisian crowd right behind their team here. It's encouraging with some good play between the two teams. Tunisia up 10 points to 5.
There's no doubting the talent that's available on the African continent, and I think if the right structures are put in place, we can hopefully see more of these African sides compete in the World Series in the future, and perhaps in the Olympic Games as well. And of course in the 15s team, we're still hoping that Kenya might be able to qualify for the World Cup. They're involved in the tournament against the likes of Canada, Hong Kong and Germany in November. And if they win that competition, then there will be 3 African teams at the Rugby World Cup for the very first time.
And that will be good news. And I think in that repertoire, Canada is going to bring up a big challenge for them. But Kenya has brought out a lot of their 7 stars, so that's going to be good. And this is a wonderful offload again, scoring their 3rd try.
Yeah, it's Ben Day1 who spotted a gap straight through the middle of the Mauritius defense. And a terrific start for Tunisia in the second half.
Yeah, he's got good speed on him. Again, there it is. The offloads are just such good timing. There it is. Him showing a lot of pace. He created the 2nd try and now scores the 3rd. Yeah, Mauritius needs to try focus and get this ball back and just try to retain the ball for a couple of seconds. I think they're rushing everything, and that's probably the big problem, is that they rush it and they get isolated, and Tunisia contests the ball on the ground.
Mauritius looking to hold on to this ball. Daneville driven backwards in the tackle. It's still available for Mauritius, picked up by Ragu, and he loses the ball forward in the contact situation. Into the hands now of Chili for Tunisia down this right-hand touchline. Defense closes him down quite quickly. Long pass coming from Ben Diab. And then kick through by Ragu. And then lost forward, so this could be a score for Mauritius. He's going to need the ball to sit up.
Yes,
and the referee says yes, so Jeffrey Marengo keeps Mauritius in this game.
Oh, this game is going back and forth. Marengo wasn't quite sure that the ball would sit up for him, but he was there. As they put pressure on the last defender, he wasn't able to regain the ball. Marengo just chipped it on, and I think he had to go shoulder to shoulder, and that's a good try, that.
It's also a lazy defense from Tunisia in their own 22.
Yeah. And the kicks are going to be quite crucial. I mean, every single kick is being missed, and I think only one of them has gone through. Could be the telling factor of who wins this game. All lie within the kicks. Great comeback by Mauritius here. I mean, they started the first half under pressure, with the crowd right behind their local team. And that's good passing, good movement. Try get good width.
Again, Tunisia not able to control the ball in the breakdown, so back it comes to Ragu, who was instrumental in scoring that previous try. Switch now to the try scorer, Jeffrey Marengo. And Tunisia have stolen it. Mauritius diving straight over, so it's the penalty that's taken by Issam Werani. And he gets the pass away to Ben Abderrahman. And Ben Abderrahman will extend Tunisia's lead, and that perhaps the try that secures victory for the hosts.
Tunisia definitely needed this try. He just showed enough pace to score what could be the vital try in this game. As the Mauritian team was starting to come back, it was important that Tunisia had to score. And they have, and scoring under the pole just helps them with the conversions that all the teams have struggled with. And that just gets an extra 2 points away from Mauritius. As Mauritius looks to start making a couple of substitutions, they really do have a lot of younger players. They've almost got 4 players that are under the age of 18 that they're trying to develop, so that within 4 years at this very tournament, these players will be experienced, and that's a part of the development that we look into. That seemed to have gone 10 meters right on the line, but the ref deems that didn't go. 10 meters, Mauritius were trying to play without tapping the ball.
It's like touchies.
Yeah.
Back to Ragu down this left-hand side. That's been a good combination between Ragu and Marengo, the number 2 and the number 8 for Mauritius.
Yeah, my only worry with Ragu is that he really runs across the field and just puts his players under pressure, because what you're doing when you're running across, you're dragging the defenders with you, and the defenders just move with that pass and isolate the player that's going to get the ball. So Ragu has to think of straightening out. We spoke about all the viewers that are chatting to us on the YouTube, that we need to identify the best playmaker in today's tournament, and let's have a chat about that. Discuss which playmaker that you've seen has stood out so far.
Oh, strong scrum coming from Mauritius, but it's available for Tunisia. Sabri Gamir opting to step on the inside, and there's that strong handoff. And every time he gets the ball, you can just know that the crowd is expecting him to do something miraculous. And he's helped to cause this overlap on the left-hand side as the ball goes out wide. Now it's Hamani putting on the gas burners, and he's just at the one to beat, and Hamani will wrap up victory in style for Tunisia. Dotted down under the sticks. And a wonderful final few minutes by Tunisia. And Zimbabwe, who they'll be up against next, will definitely be taking notice of this final few minutes of their encounter.
Oh, definitely. They got the ball out wide, and Armani, he knew he had the speed on the crossing defenders. They all gave a good effort, but Armani was just too good as he secures what could be the final try. But it's been a good outing by Tunisia. I think what they've understood is that they've got to get the ball out wide. They've got some deadly runners out wide. If Gamir and them can really suck in defenders in the middle and make sure that the ball gets wide to these speedsters, then the game against Zimbabwe is going to be a real humdinger.
Finally, it looks like Tunisia have the restart right, and it's been lost forward by Jeffrey Marengo, and that should be that. That'll also be that for Mauritius on day one. They found themselves in a tough pool, being up against Zimbabwe and now Tunisia as well. And they'll also be hoping that their points difference will allow them to play in the quarterfinals tomorrow. Otherwise, they might find themselves in the playoff for 9th and 10th. But a good start for the host nation in this competition as they managed to beat Mauritius 31-10.